Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is find an area that has a little bit of a forgiving landing. So we're going to again use this natural setting, our sand right here. And this is perfect because I can start off on the grass, which is a little bit more firm, and then transfer that into a softer area. So if you have something like that, that's like perfect, that's ideal. But you could do it on a slightly sloping hill. That would give you the advantage of going downhill, or even just a flat grass area is fine too. Okay, so I'm going to be giving Drew a lot of spot here, but what we're going to do is we're going to repeat what we just did so it's fresh in his mind and he knows exactly where I'm going to be now that we changed our surface, our surrounding area. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. Stand here. I have you, but you might feel a little bit of a drop when you pick your knees up just to my shoulder, okay? But I need you to jump hard and get the knees up.
Okay.
Up. Good. You can go harder than that.
Okay.
Jump up and over. Go. Up, up. Perfect, perfect. Good.
Nice.
So I had to work in order to slow him down. My energy was put, because he did it correctly, into stopping his rotation. That's important because when we transfer this and I get ready to spot him, I know all I really need to do is assist him, okay? If I'm having to lift him up to pull him to the position, then he's probably not ready to go over yet. But Drew definitely is. His vertical jump is really good. He's quick getting his knees up, and he's making it over my shoulder really easily, and I'm having to stop him from flipping over. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do this.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do on the spot is I'm gonna make sure that I can spot his second half of the flip. So he's gonna come up into my shoulder and I'll be helping him on the second half of the flip, as well as being able to assist a little bit in the beginning.
So the same thing?
Yep, same jump up and over, but we're actually gonna rotate over.
Okay, so you're not gonna stand behind me?
I'm gonna stand, well, I will be slightly behind you, but I'm on your side so I can help you with rotation.
Okay, so basically a backflip.
Yep. Good. So you notice my placement. This was similar to the front tuck. If you watch the front tuck spotting, I put my arm well underneath here because if he jumps up and gets rotation to my arms, I can actually get my shoulder underneath him, and instead of flipping him backwards, I'm flipping him forward, so I have control of his waist the whole time. Just like we said in the beginning, if you can control the waist, then you can control the body. If he does something absolutely wrong, that's okay. I can still keep him off of his head. But the transition from his jump and flip and the spotting, for him, he doesn't see what I'm doing. It actually feels a lot just like I'm standing behind him as we did the drills. Good. So now, because he has the dynamics and he's getting over, and it's very obvious that he is, the worst thing I can do is actually get in his way as a spotter. So that time I was a little more mindful of staying a little bit away from him and allowing him to swing and give him the room that he needs to be efficient with his body. As soon as he creates space for me to be in, I'm going to occupy that space and spot him, both hands around the hips, just like I did in the beginning. But since Drew is pretty comfortable with this now and it's looking really good, I'm going to change the way I'm spotting because, again, I want to make sure that I can sweep in very easily but not be in his way when he preps, because his prep is good. So there's nothing to change there. There's nothing I need to assist. So the best thing I can do is stay out of his way, let him do his job, so then I can do mine. Awesome. Wow. That was easy. So easy.
That was a lot of air.
Yeah, and I would say when you prep, you only need to bend and swing and jump. The little extra jump this way is having you bend forward more than you need to, because since we need not only vertical lift, but really what we need to get to is this tight arch position. Okay. So everything that happens down here is wasted energy until you get up to here where you'd actually jump and stretch.
So basically, I started from right here.
Yeah, you're working harder than you need to. So you're like, instead of running to it, you're just like going, and you really don't even need to. Just jump like you did for the timers. You're actually going to respond a lot faster. Reach. That was a lot better. Okay, so earlier Drew had mentioned that now that he's got his back tucked really well, he's kind of creating more and more dynamics, and he realizes that if you can prep or get momentum into something and transfer it, then it's going to be to his benefit. So right now he's starting to try to transfer energy from like a straight jump into the back tuck, but the thing is, part of that is true, but if you go through unnecessary positions, then your body has to correct that before you can go to the back tuck. And so what you've realized is now with this energy of going up and down, there's a gap there in like how to transfer that. But the thing is, straight up and down and then into a backflip, because it's easier to transfer linear motion into a flip than just bounding up and down like this. Because your dynamics are good enough without that extra bounder, it's just extra things for you to think about. So what you really want to do is keep your feet on the ground while you prep. If your feet stay on the ground when you prep, then you can focus on the back tuck. But as soon as your feet leave the ground, you have to transfer vertical energy into a backward rotation. That's a lot harder to do. Okay, at least for starting. There's a lot more to think about. So I'm gonna spot another one and just, there can be a little prep, there can be a lift, but not a jump.
Like visualize the plyometrics wall?
Exactly,
High
or
knees.
Even better, jumping back to my arms like that. Just jump back, yeah. So we're gonna back up too, so we're gonna give you a little heavier spot.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh man, that was so easy.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah. It's
That was
easier
better.
when your body's vertical, because again, you don't need the extra energy. You're already strong enough to do it. So just by going down, you can get to the arch. As soon as you get to the arch, you already know you can flip it. But when you do a straight jump, in order to absorb that, your chest has to come back forward again to keep your balance. You could just jump up and lean back, and now you're creating linear motion. That's a whole nother thing. So you're starting to combine techniques, which is not a bad thing, because you're thinking ahead, so that's good. That's like how you should learn. But the thing is, if you have a coach, there's someone to help you differentiate what techniques you're using. And for your standing back tuck, the extra jump off the ground is not really necessary. So let's do that again. Now I'm gonna go back out of my spot a little bit so you can do your job. Awesome. Good. Okay, so one of the things, Drew knew he was going to do the back tuck on his own, and I knew that he was capable of doing it on his own. When it comes to spotting, we had communication, verbal. I might put my hand on his back, letting him know, because he can't see me. He doesn't have to keep turning around. So I'll do maybe a subtle touch on the back and just let him know I'm okay, or I'm here, I'm ready. And then he'll say, are you ready, or something like that. So there's some communication so that we know we're both thinking and doing the same thing. But most importantly, even though I know that he's gonna do it on his own, I follow his body, I track his movements just as though I'm going to spot him, and only spot him as much as I think he needs it, okay? If I stand there with this type of posture, just waiting for him to do it, there might be that one time when he has a little mistake. And if you're not tracking the body's movement, the second it registers that something's not going right, you're gonna be in there too late. So if you're spotting, remember, you are spotting. You're spotting every single time. There's never a time when you say, okay, I'm gonna be there for you, but you know they're gonna do it on their own, so your posture is that of relaxing, that you can't move quickly. So if the person there is relying on you to be able to help them, then it's your job to be in there to help them. Because remember, everything is about safety. And the reason why we're doing these videos is so that you can be safer going out and doing it somewhere that's unconventional, like a gym. And when we started off, there weren't really any gyms, there was just places like this. And then gyms grew out of that. So this is very organic, and this is just as safe as being in the gym, but it just comes back to knowing what you're doing and being able to help each other efficiently. Oh! This is what happens when you spy yourself. You don't know what to do with the If you're looking for tumbling, looking for a strong foundation, and you don't know where to start, you're an adult. A lot of gyms don't have classes specifically. They have open gyms, but maybe not something with instruction where you can get a foundation. I'm at the San Diego Circus Center 3 days a week, so you're welcome to come on down and we'll have a great session.